Hi everyone, it's Mithrilda and welcome back to my journey of learning to draw. So today I'm going to be reviewing my experience with Evolve Artist Block 1. So first of all, I just wanted to say that I've been really happy with my experience so far. I was really worried about how expensive it was and how I might just be adding to my endless pile of books and courses that I buy and then never take and they just gather dust. However, I've been making so much progress and I'm pretty sure I've improved more in the last 3 months than I have in the past 3 years. Something about the combination of the course, my life circumstances, and my current level of skill combined together in a really positive way that made this course a good fit for my learning style and where I am on my art journey. In addition, this course has made me feel something I've never really felt before, which is this level of pride and satisfaction with my work. Cause I've always enjoyed shopping for and getting new art supplies. I feel like this is such a common artist thing, but I love watching hauls, I love going on my own little art supply shopping sprees, and I would see all these beautiful notebooks and pens and pencils and all these art supplies, and I would just dream about all the possibilities that they held, all the beautiful things that could be made using them. But I never had the skills to coax these beautiful things out of the supplies. I knew that I had to use them because everyone told me to, They say, don't worry if it looks bad, just keep practicing and keep going. So I did use a lot of them, but I always felt like my touch was harming them. Like all these high-grade art supplies that I had, I was taking away their magic by using them and taking away all that potential of a blank canvas and replacing it with my trash, basically. I was taking away the opportunity for them to be used by some master and turn into an actually good piece of art. I think that's a big reason why I was drawn to doing digital art, because I can't use it up and I can't waste it. But Evolve was different. Looking at these pieces that I've made, I feel really proud and happy with them. And I can see my improvement with every painting. I realized partway through that instead of feeling disappointment and sadness looking at my supplies as they were getting used up, like I usually do, I felt really happy because I knew that I put my best effort into them and I'm really proud of what came out of them. This is the first time that I felt happier looking at the stuff that I've created out of the supplies, as opposed to looking at a pile of brand new supplies waiting to be used. This is the first time that I felt like the value of this artwork is greater than the value of the supplies that came into it, where I felt like my touch has made them more valuable. And I've never felt anything like this before. And I'm so grateful to the course for being able to give me this feeling, to give me a path in order to earn this feeling. With regard to the amount of paint that you get with the course, these are all my used paper palettes, and you can see how much paint is still on them because they were left over after I finished a piece, or I left it out too long and it wasn't usable anymore. I still have plenty of paint left for the 10 paintings in Block 2, and then for Block 3, I'll get another box with color paints. So as long as you follow the instructions for how much paint to prepare, you should be absolutely fine with the amount of gray paint. As I've been trying to learn to draw and how to create art and all that, I just kept on hearing over and over that things would turn out badly and I just need to push through. That's the mindset I feel like was pushed a lot with Drawbox. Within that curriculum, I feel like one of the core principles is that he just pushes you off the end of the dock and you have to sink or swim, and you will figure it out as you go. And whether it turns out well or turns out poorly, the important part is that you keep fighting to learn the concepts. And even outside of the course, you have to throw yourself into the water by trying to draw things that you're not used to that will turn out badly. And through that struggle, you will learn the skills you need to become a competent artist. I did not enjoy that. That doesn't really vibe with my learning style at all. I like to be guided, I like to have my hand held, and I like to be told exactly what I'm doing. And I always felt like that made me weak compared to other artists because all these people could learn from these resources and be self-taught and learn from these books and courses that were just completely confusing me. But with Evolve, I realized that I can have this thing that I've always wanted, which is to be guided through everything, where I don't have to find things outside of the course to draw on my own, and I don't have to struggle through it, and I can still learn and make all this progress. Like with Evolve, this has been the smoothest art course I've ever been through. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's not easy, but I wasn't frustrated, I wasn't stressed out, and I wasn't confused as I was following it. All the lessons are super clear. Every single homework builds on top of the last homework, so you're not like falling off a cliff or getting tossed into the water without anything to hold on to. Like, they tell you how to do the homework step by step, and you're never stuck because there's just a checklist. You just go down the list, and if you do everything, then it turns out. Like, there's no choices to make, and I always know what's next. And this has lifted such a burden off my shoulders. And it's shown me that I can learn art without having to be confused and frustrated and just going crazy trying to figure out what to do. Evolve has also shown me how these lessons can actually lead to me making the kind of art I personally want to later on. Because it starts with completed paintings. Even the very first painting with the cubes has a foreground, a background, and all the values are in their correct places. It might be a simplistic story, but it is a complete story. This whole time as I've been learning art, I've never drawn a background on any of my pieces. I've barely ventured past these quick, messy sketches, and I always wondered, how am I gonna get from here to like complete pieces? Now I see exactly how a piece of art goes from beginning to end, and all I have to do is like fill in the stuff in the middle. And I trust that the course will give me all the tools I need to fill the stuff in the middle, which for someone like me who is really anxious and overthinks things a lot, it's super helpful to just be able to trust in the process and let it go and just think about the painting that's right in front of me, because I know that everything else will be taken care of. I just want to include a footnote here that I think Drawbox is a very thoughtful, generous program, and I know it has helped a lot of people with their art fundamentals. I just realize now that it doesn't suit my learning style. And I am not comparing the two courses at all. They teach different things, they're for different people, and they're at vastly different price points. I'm only comparing the way that they teach and the way that they made me feel as I've been taking them. And because of the sort of stuff I've experienced taking other art courses and the sorts of advice that I've seen online, I thought that every art course, basically, like the entire journey of learning to draw, would be frustrating and difficult and confusing, and that the way that you get better is you like fortify yourself mentally to be able to get through that confusion and sadness and fight through it and like grasp at the knowledge that you can get from it by jumping into like the deep end of the pool. But Evolve, it's not like that. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's just like slowly walking down a slope into deeper and deeper water. So I guess like my main point here is that I thought that things had to be a certain way because of the way I've interpreted people's advice and the way that people have said things online. And I know a lot of people do like the sorts of courses that haven't worked for me so far. Either they're more advanced than me so they could actually appreciate them, or they have a different learning style. But either way, a lot of people have benefited from stuff that I haven't enjoyed personally. So they definitely do work, and they're definitely useful, and they definitely help a lot of people out there. And because of that, I felt like I was deficient or defective, or that I was broken because I couldn't use all these same courses that everyone else seemed to really love. And now I'm kind of thinking, hey, I see why other people would like this course now if they're enjoying that one as much as I'm enjoying Evolve. Like, is this what it feels like to be well matched to a learning resource, to be well matched to a teacher? I feel like it's opened my eyes up to whole new possibilities. And I feel like I'm a lot more willing probably in the future after Evolve to try out new courses now that I realize there is stuff out there that won't make me feel bad as I'm going through it. On top of the curriculum itself, I think it's really cool that there's so many resources to reach out to if I ever have any questions or clarifications I need. For example, I've had a one-on-one session with Piper, and I've had a critique session with her as well, where I asked her a bunch of questions and she critiqued my artwork. I've also made posts to the Evolve Facebook group, where everyone has been super friendly and super helpful, and I've been talking with Kevin himself, and he has been an amazing resource as well. I feel like taking an art course is kind of living in your own universe, because you can't just go and ask some really talented art friend of yours for help. Because within the confines of that art course, you have to follow those rules, even if they might not match up with the way that somebody else was taught or the way that somebody else understands the world. Like, a really important part of learning a method or going through a course is staying consistent within the bounds of that course. Like, you don't want to dilute your mental energy by hearing a bunch of conflicting opinions from different people. And it's been super helpful having the whole Evolve community, because everyone understands what each other's talking about, and everyone's really dedicated to this growth mindset, to following the course exactly as written. And sometimes you have questions that can only be answered by other students because the teachers have not gone through the course. So being able to connect with other students has been something that I've really appreciated as I've gone through the course so far. So for all the trouble that the bunnies and the cats gave me, I feel like it was surprisingly chill doing the pumpkin. Even as I was doing it, I just kept thinking, is this lighter than the surroundings? Put some light paint on it. Is this darker than the surroundings? Put some dark paint on it. And I kept doing these steps over and over across the canvas, looking for smaller and smaller differences, and then I stepped back and I was like, whoa, look at that, it's a pumpkin. I'm really proud of it, and I think I really tried my best and made it to the best of my abilities. I think this has to be the most detailed, complicated piece so far, but it didn't take the longest time at all. Something interesting that Kevin said is that as you gain mastery over these skills, you'll be able to paint faster and faster. But that's not because you're moving any faster, you're just more efficient with your brush strokes. You can make decisions faster, and you make less mistakes because it takes twice as long to fix a mistake as it does to just do it right in the first place. And I don't know, I can't really feel the improvement in my brain as it happens, but I made this painting and it only took 7.5 hours, and that's really exciting to me. Overall, I took 133 hours to complete Evolve Block 1, including watching the videos, transferring the images, mixing the paint, and painting the homework assignments. I started on August 20th and I finished on November 20th, which I did not realize until just now. I don't think there was more than an hour-ish of video instruction for any one homework, and only about 5 or 6 hours of videos total. The rest of the time was spent painting and gathering that experience. Please don't use this as something to aim for or something to beat or anything like that. This is just to show one path through Evolve Artist Block 1. Curriculums change, everyone has their own pace, more free time, less free time, blah blah blah. So reach out to the instructors if you think you're going too fast or too slow. Other than that, my numbers don't really mean anything. Now that I'm getting prepped for Block 2, which will require me to make a shadow box for still life subjects, and I didn't plan ahead, so I didn't order my lamp until after my pumpkin was graded, so now I have to wait a week or two until the lamp gets here so I can get started. Don't be like me. Plan ahead. In conclusion, I really like Evolve. It's given me new expectations for what the learning experience can be, and more progress in the last 3 months than I could have ever imagined. And I am so excited to keep going and paint that cheesecake in Block 4. So, is Evolve right for you? I feel like that was my biggest question when I was getting started. Will it suit me? Will it give me what I'm searching for? Well, it was a good fit for me. I was looking for the very base, the foundations of art, so I can build up from there. And I feel like this is it. I was looking for a community of people who all thought the same way I did. Personalized feedback and instruction, people to ask all my questions to. And that's what I found. I was looking for a course that would be all-inclusive and teach me everything I needed to know without me worrying about missing something and having to come up with personal art projects, and that's what I found here. If none of this sounds interesting or appealing to you, it's probably not the right course for you. But if you relate to some of the struggles that I've been through or the philosophy of the course, then I'd say to give it a closer look. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions. And there's a ton of other students who post their progress on Instagram, which I can link down in the description below. There's also interviews with Kevin and some of the other instructors, and my own interviews with Kevin in my previous videos. And if you have any other questions, you can just reach out to Evolve Artist on Instagram or through their email support line. They're always super helpful and they respond really quickly. So there's a ton of resources out there to help you make that choice of whether Evolve is right for you. I spent a lot of money over the years on random books and courses and art supplies, and I'm pretty sure that's added up to around what Evolve cost. But all of that combined didn't give me the satisfaction and improvement that Evolve has. Of course, if this does not fit into your budget, please do not get this course, even if you feel like it's the perfect thing for you and it'll fit exactly what you're looking for. Putting yourself on a shaky financial foundation in order to build up your art foundation is something that I would never, ever recommend, so please don't do that. Anyway, those are my thoughts so far as Block 1 comes to a close. I am extremely excited to get into proportional drawing and drawing from life because I feel like this will be even closer to what my end goals are, and I get to start actually applying some Evolve stuff to some figure drawing stuff. Stay tuned for the Block 2 lessons and exercises because I'm not even really sure what's in them because they don't really publish that much stuff about it. If you have any other questions about Evolve Artist as a whole or Block 1 in particular, please let me know and I'll either pin a comment with some Q&As or I'll make a separate Q&A video if there's enough other stuff that I haven't covered. Thank you all so much for joining me on my Evolve journey so far, and thank you to Kevin for making this wonderful course and allowing me to share so much about it on this channel. Stay safe and healthy out there, and remember that talent is a myth. Now, get back to work.